everyone, welcome back to Tales to Destiny. Here we are in Feb already, 2022 looks great, and today I am so excited to bring in a guest who is very dear and close to my heart, and she's a good friend. But apart from that, she's a physiotherapist. She is one of the first female physiotherapists to have gone to Olympics. She is PV Sindhu's personal trainer, so big yay to me that I have famous friends. But help me welcome Dr. Evangeline. Hi, Eva.
Hi, Abdela.
Welcome to Tales to Destiny.
Thank you so much.
First of all, thank you for saying yes to do this interview. Second, I would want to say that I try to do a little bit in introducing you. But if you were to introduce yourself, how would you do that?
I would say I'm Evangeline. I'm a sports physiotherapist working with PV Sindhu. But yet first I am the child of God who is working hard. And yes, this is a journey which I am now sharing with you, Abdela. So yes.
Okay, so let's start from the beginning. Tell me, where were you born, to whom were you born, a little about your childhood and the story of your birth.
I was born in Solapur, Nagar, which is a small town in Telangana, which is like in Abdela district, which is like borders of Telangana and beginning of the Maharashtra. So I know a bit of Hindi and bit of Maharashtra slang, and born and brought up in a Telugu family to my parents. That is my dad Baddam George and my mom Baddam Rosemary. And I have two sisters, one brother, and I'm the youngest. So yes.
So how was it being the youngest of the family? Were you always pampered? How was your relationship growing with your siblings and your parents, for that matter?
Yes, I was pampered because I was the youngest one. But I had a tough journey, like compared to my sisters and my brother. It was not similar because when I was born, we had like well-off family because dad was a automobile mechanic and we had our own showroom and all that. But in between, what happened was dad had partnerships and it went to loss. So then it came a phase where I had to go to the hostel. So I came to Hyderabad when I was in 6th standard, that is in the year 2000. So it was a bit tough because to leave my family and come down and stay here alone. So I was always pampered, never know what to do alone or dress up or go to school and all that. But yes, I came to hostel and it was a missionary hostel. So it was quite different because everybody is going haywire, 300 people together and all girls. So you can imagine it was like I have to learn things, undo things in my life. I became a very stubborn child in the process because I felt like oh my god, like my parents left me, you're not loved in the process and you feel that. But at the end of the day, it was a good journey because now when I look back, God has taught me so many things in that journey.
So I'll want to stay there and ask you, how was it for you in school life? You again mentioned your initial years were in Nagar, but then you moved at 6th standard to Hyderabad and stayed in hostel. How was that school journey? You shared a bit that the part, it was tough that your parents left you and you were in the hostel. But how were you in school in general? Were you very studious, a good kid, always knew that I'm gonna study hard and make it big?
Never thought that. But yes, I think it was there in our family, that seed. Mom, dad always told whatever happens, you have to study well. So work hard. That was a seed which were put by my mom and dad because mom was very strict. Like, if you're not scoring well, you're standing in the sun. You have to just go and stand in the sun if you're not studying. So that was there. And my elder sister always pushed me to study really hard because she always wanted to, do masters, but it didn't happen because we were not financially well off. So she was like, you are the youngest. If you get a chance, you're doing it. So she always pushed me to do that. In school, yes, it was difficult for me because coming from a small hometown, suddenly pushing into a city life and seeing a lot of competition. And my thing was, for us in our hometown, Hindi was the first language. When you come here, Telugu was the first language. And like, isme saramsh, and I hear Telugu saramsh, I'm like going. I didn't know what to do. It was so different. Coming from a co-ed, again going to girls' school, it was so different. So yes, it was a journey to learn. But again, I used to go to the summer holidays. Mom used to teach me Telugu and come back again, study well, and again come back and write your exams. And yes, I was studious. I can say that because I never failed in any subjects. Touch wood.
Okay.
So yeah, so that is one thing. Yes, God has been really kind that way.
So, I believe a lot of your teenage years started when you were in hostel and in
Yes.
Hyderabad. So, how was your teenage years and going towards from teenage to your early 20s? Were becoming a physio, becoming a doctor was something that you were always pursuing? Having the educational and the degree part there, how was your teenage towards it? How were you as a teenager?
As a teenager, it was very different because I always want to be a cardiac surgeon.
Okay.
So it didn't happen. So financially, again, it came into a picture. My sister was like, "You want to be a doctor," and everybody, there's one thing in like, "Oh, Christians are good nurses." I'm like, "No, I'm not becoming a nurse." So I was like, "Okay, fine, I'll do something." Then in teenage, it was different because coming from girls' school, going to a co-ed again in degree. So it was like I prayed and I'm like, God, if it's your will, I want to be a doctor. I want to wear that apron. I don't know, like that was a dream to wear. If I become a cardiac surgeon or not, I want to be that person to wear an apron at the end of the day. So then my sister was like, okay, fine. Then we prayed, and you won't believe we went to St. Anthony's Church in Uppal, and we were like, God, do something. And we just wrote two things, one nursing and one physiotherapy. I picked up a chit and like, okay, physiotherapy it is. Then we just went with the flow. It was hard because it was like a lot of money involved in medical seats. So per year we had to pay a certain amount, and it was not happening. And again, uh, I can share this, like my dad had a his favorite bullet where it was the oldest bullet, and he just sold out the bullet for 20,000 for my fee. So it was like, no, it's hard earned money of my dad. I have to do this, and I studied really hard because every day it was a push. Because my sister used to tell me, my parents used to push me, like you have to do this because there are a lot of dreams associated, and you pile up things and you tell it to God. I always used to dream in ninth standard. From ninth standard, I had a dream I have to go abroad and do my masters. But I never did because again, I was like, okay, it won't happen. I don't have so much money. Maybe I can't travel. Maybe I don't know the language so well. Maybe I can't do it. But at the end of the day, God has His own ways to do it. So it was beautiful when I look back, and now it still feels like a dream to me. Like going to nations right now, it still feels okay. I have a passport and I have stampings. I get visas and I get to travel, that too not with my money, and it's only God.
Yeah. So we'll come to that part of you traveling around the globe later. But tell me, you told that your dad has to sell off his bike. But apart from that, for you, the studying part or growing part, how was the journey of becoming a physio looked like for you when you like actually become a physio and you got the degree, you got the job? How was that journey towards reaching it? Were there times you wanted to give up? Were there times that you were like always confident, like this is like I can do this?
No, I was never confident because uh, it it takes a lot of energy to study medicine, because we had to study for like 16 hours, and anatomy physiology is very very tough. And first year you go and they give you like human bodies to read, and it's very difficult. But I think there was something within me which was telling not to give up. I used to look back coming from a small family. I'm like, no, I have to do this. Then I used to study. I had very good seniors. They ragged me still. They were very kind, and they gave me like a lot of books, and we had to buy bone sets and like literally human beings bone set for 2000 rupees, which I didn't have. Like seniors used to help me, and they used to give me books, and we used to xerox it and all that stuff. Like from first year to fourth year, it was journey to itself, because there are a lot of friends. I have like 7 best friends, and they are still my friends till date. So we had a journey, like we had a lot of competition between among ourselves, and we're like, who's the topper? Like in 1 to 10 we have to have our names, we have to study so hard. We used to go sit in the libraries and write down notes and prepare for our exams, prepare for our practicals. It was never easy, and there was a point where I had to, like, I felt like, no, it's not working out. Like when I finished my masters, like after 7 years of studying physiotherapy, and I was like, I was not getting the job. And it was the toughest part. I was like, I being one of the toppers in our batch, I'm not getting the job. I got the job, but I left it. I wanted to spend my time with God, and everything was going haywire. I'm like, 4 months. I got the job. I worked for 4 months. Again, I left the job. Then I went to Bangalore for internship, face to face. Again, I came back. Then dad was not well. At that time, I felt, no, it's not working out. I think I should not pursue physiotherapy anymore, or I should go into, any call center or work. I didn't know what to do. Like I had like so many thoughts, like should I do home visit, should I go to some places in IT sector to just give interviews, or be the physiotherapist in the IT sector where I can give them postural correction exercises. I thought so many things. Then at the end, after 1.5 years of not having job and having best job, I left the job, and I was like, God, if you want to honor me in your way. I just gave up, and I
Yes.
cried. There were times.
That was the time that the shift happened from you passed your college, you became, you were, as you said, you were excellent in your studies, and there was a phase where you got a job and then you left the job. To staying there, you also mentioned in between that you went to Bangalore to face to face. So I want to ask, when did face to face happen, and how did that happen? And also, was it worth the sacrifice that you made that you left your job? And how did that phase of your life look like? What, again, I'm bringing too many questions together, but one, what made you go to a face-to-face to do internship? Second, being there those 4 months, that's something I did as well. So being there 4 months, you have to like give it completely. But you were working and you left that job and went there. That is after a phase where you have not found jobs and you got a job. And just let me know a little about that.
So I think it was in 2017 where I got a job in Suchitra Badminton Academy. So that's the academy where I'm working now. But in that time, I was like, really didn't know what to do. Like I was not focused on my job because I had a very bad relationship. And again, I went through a lot of depression, suicidal thoughts, and all that. But I didn't know that I could come out of it. So there was a lot of thought process going in, emotions going in. I was like, what I'm doing with my life? Like there's so many people, like I have Christian friends, but I didn't have a relationship with Jesus like that. People used to tell their stories, but I wanted to taste God. It didn't happen to me like that because I never tasted it, and nobody told me that God is, God who is a father, who is kind, who is loving, who will bring you out of all this. So for me, it was like go to church Sunday, come back, and you do your part, and God will do His part. So there were a few people in my life, like if I can name, who actually when face to face came to NLAG for a camp, and then I went to a camp for a day, and then I was like, God, if I have to come out of it, you make a way. Then I met few people like Smith, Rohit, Raj, and they spoke to me like, give God 4 months of your life. You don't know what God will do with it, but they knew definitely that God is gonna work. But I didn't have that confidence because I never tasted God in that way. So they convinced me at the end of the day after I getting a job 4 months. I'm like, no, I'm not leaving this job because it's a dream job. It's sports medicine. I had like good pay, and I was like, no. Then they were like, no, no, you have to go. And I was the person who entered internship after 10 days. It started, and me and Prakriti were in the same batch. We joined on the same day, and we were like, we are out of the box because we felt like, okay, we started late, like after 10 days, and Nixon was like, no, you'll be fine, just give your 4 months, you'll be fine. And that was a journey which started. And my mom used to tell, why did you leave the job? Now she tells me better that you did a very good thing that you left the job for God. Now God has honored you in so many ways, because people questioned me, why are you leaving this job? Because people had like, you got the best opportunity, why are you leaving it? Like, why are you even thinking of leaving a job like which can give you good profile? Then I was like, no, I am not in the best place right now. When I am best, like when I'm content, I'll come back. But it didn't happen that easily, because it was like, there were other physios who joined academy, and I didn't have that job anymore. And it took almost 1.5 years to get back. And again it happened that they only called me to come back, and it was like a dream, because I gave interviews after immediately after internship for PV Sindhu's personal physiotherapist. That didn't happen after internship in 2017. So I was like, okay, now it's like one after the other. I'm not getting a job. I got a job again. Sindhu's job I'm not getting. I was like, I was self-doubting myself. Like, do I have in me or no? Then I was like, okay, Jesus. Again, I waited. God made me wait. And He told, no, go through the process. It's okay. Learn, prune your character. Learn. Wait on me. Then randomly, I get a call saying that come back to the academy, and they
This
paid
is
me
Suchitra, right?
the same
The
place.
same place.
Yeah.
So this is what you're sharing of your journey to how you becoming PV Sindhu's physio.
Yes.
So did you reached out to Suchitra before, or they just called you?
No. I reached out to them when I came back from internship, but I never got a positive, answer from them. So I left it. I was like, if it's God's will, it will happen. But in the process, I was searching for other jobs, but it didn't happen like that. I was doing home visits. I was treating people. I was treating friends. So it was easy like that. But of course, I did sports medicine, so I wanted to do something in sports medicine. But they called me. I didn't know. I didn't have a clue that Sindhu is there. I didn't know that she's already present there, training there from 1.5 years before I went. So when I stepped in, it was like, God, what are you doing with me? Like, I stepped in, the day I stepped in, He told, from today you're taking care of Sindhu. And I'm like, sir, yeah, PV Sindhu is coming here. From today you're taking care of her. And it took me like, there's so many things which flashed, like so many things. Like, I going to internship, it was worth it. I asked so many questions to God. God, will you honor me in this? And God was telling, only and only humble yourself. I'll honor you. I'll honor you. Don't doubt yourself. So that happened. And when I first met Sindhu, it was like, she is the sweetest and humblest person I've ever known. And when I look back, and she came and she was like, hi ma'am, and I'm like, okay, she's a celebrity, but I'm like, okay, fine. It was God. Like, if it was not God, I would have not been here, sitting here and going to Olympics. Like, it still feels like a dream. So yes, it was a journey.
So now that you became PV's physio, and now when the time came, you earlier mentioned that you dreamt of traveling the world and you wanted to go abroad and study.
Yeah.
So when it happened that the first call comes to you that you're traveling with PV Sindhu, I don't, which was the first place you went
Thailand.
to? Thailand was the first place you went to. How was your reaction when you got that call and you got to know that you're traveling outside India? You're not just traveling, you're traveling all free, and you're traveling with PV Sindhu.
Yeah.
So how was that moment for you?
I think it was the same time in Jan. Jan 4th was the first travel last year, like 2021. It happened in October, in November. She made a random call and she was like, give me your details. I'm like, okay, fine, I'll give my details. So she was like, send your passport. I was like, okay, sending passport is nothing. So I was not thinking in that way. She randomly asked me passport pictures and like passport and all that. Then I was like, okay. She asked me, are you okay traveling with me? Because she liked my work. Then I asked, I would love to travel with you. I just gave a hint like I'm open to anything. So then she was like, okay, fine, we'll see into it. So I didn't take it seriously that I could travel or I would travel with her. Then randomly one day she sent me a official letter from Badminton Association of India, and she didn't tell me anything, no clue, nothing. She sent me the official letter in my WhatsApp with the PDF. I opened the PDF and start crying. And I'm like, Jesus, this is not funny at all. There's my name with passport number, tickets on it. And I'm like, I called her like immediately and I started crying. I'm like, Sindhu, what is this? And she's like, you're traveling with me from next tournament. And I just cried and cried. I was in the office. I didn't know what to do. I called my mom. I called my dad. I'm like, you know what? I'm going. I sent that official letter to my dad. My dad was searching my name and he took that printout and all that. I'm like, why are you taking printouts? Then I was like, okay, fine. That is one thing which is confirmed. I didn't tell my sisters. I didn't tell my brother. When I was traveling, I told my mom, I'm going like this. And my mom said, our God is a God who answers prayers. So then it didn't, when I stepped into first like international airports, and I was like, these flights are not similar to the domestic flights. They are very different. And I'm like, okay. Now I was like, okay, now we are stepping into something. And first thing I go to Thailand and we stay in a hotel. And I'm like, okay, this is the bonus. And we are staying in quarantine for 5 days only in the hotel. So I was like, eat, sleep, and just do your work. And I went there, I prayed and I knelt and I prayed, and Jesus, this is you. And I took a picture, my Bible and quarantine, and I took the Bible and I just cried and wrote the journey in my diary. And yeah, that was the journey when I first went to Thailand. Yes.
Wow. And then 2021, that travel series never stopped. I had to like book her from like, I'm trying to get her on from this beginning of 2021, but I get her in 2022. But the big thing would be the Olympics that you travel for. But before going there, you went through a major heartbreak in your family
Yeah.
before Olympics happened. Can you share a little about it? And with that happening, how did you manage to still say a yes to for what God had for you that was going to the Olympics?
Yeah. So after going to like 3 countries, and my dad was excited, he was like, okay, you are traveling now, you'll be traveling, right? I was like, yes dad, maybe I'll travel, I don't know, but I might be traveling. So I was like, okay, fine. Then the phase of Olympics came in the month, like we were preparing for it because we had to give our sizes for our blazers, like we had India on it and all that for opening ceremony and all that. So I told my dad that we are going for Olympics, and he was like, okay, so you'll be traveling, right, beta? I was like, yes. He was asking my mom, like, now she'll be traveling every time. And then my mom was like, yes. So then I told my dad, he was really excited, and COVID hit. Then after COVID hitting my family, dad was a heart patient. So it was very, very difficult for us to know that mom was a close contact because she couldn't come, and dad was suffering with COVID, and we went through that phase. It was so painful every day checking, because I am in the medical field. It was really, really, really tough seeing dad like that, because he had no taste, no smell, and he was losing his appetite, and he was a heart patient. Like, there's so many thoughts, so much fear came in. But we were trusting God, and like mom was like, no, nothing will happen, he'll be fine. And uh, it was fine. Like dad was fine, and it was negative when we took a test after 21 days. Then within 3 days, I was on a call with my dad, and he was talking to me on the call. That day I can never forget. It was May 20th, and it was very hard. It was 10:30 in the night, and suddenly my dad collapsed talking to me. I was the last person to see him like that. My mom was next to him, and my dad just told, he just vomited, and he came and he was like, my chest was burning. I was like, okay, fine, dad, you just take rest. And I told my mom, can you take him to the hospital, because nobody was there in my hometown, everybody were here, and we couldn't go because I had to travel, and I couldn't go because I was vaccinated, but I couldn't go because I can become close contact to Sindhu.
Yeah.
So, because she can't travel because of me, I didn't wanted that to happen to her and this to happen to my parents. So then it was hard. He just collapsed and his pulse was going down. I was on the call. I didn't know what to do. I called Nixon. I called my sisters. I didn't know, no clue what to do. And dad just collapsed, and we just called so many people in our colony. They came in, there was an auto, and all that happened. But the worst part was no hospital was ready to take my dad. In the process of that, we lost my dad, and that was the last day that I saw him. And yeah, it was quite a journey to see him. Never thought that that was the last talk with my dad, and it was really really hard. And it's only been 7 months, so yeah, it's a process. But yeah, after that, going to Olympics was again was a choice. Should I go? Should I not go?
Yeah.
Should I be here? Should I be with mom? Should I not be with mom? Because mom had no clue what is happening in her body. Mom was not well, and so many things. Mom got diagnosed with so many things again. To see mom in that phase and to leave her and go, my mom just told one thing: I'll leave. You just go. Trust in God. Just go. And that was journey where actually trusted God. Proverbs 3, 5, 6 is my journey, like literally my journey. Trust in the Lord with all your heart. Do not lean on your own understanding, but He will direct your paths. So that's been a journey. And yes, I took a like leap of faith, took a step, and mom was like, just go. She was going through a lot of pain, chemos, radiations every day, but I had to go. I couldn't believe that what is happening. Like, it was a stroke after stroke for me. It was so painful to see my dad go away just like that. Within seconds, I lost my dad. I couldn't even, people say, like righteous people go away. And it was like that for me. Like within seconds, when we think that life is, and we take people for granted and think, oh, our parents will be there with us. But if God calls them, we don't know what is the timing. So He taught me to trust Him, like trust Him, and just lean on Him. Then yes, it's been a journey where I went to Olympics, and in the room, like when I went to Tokyo, I was sitting alone. I just cried for hours and hours together because I didn't process my dad's death. I didn't know what to do, to be strong, to be emotionally broken, to take care of my family, to portray myself that I'm strong, or not to tell mom that I'm going through this pain. I didn't know what to do. I was just like, God, I don't know, I'm here. In the process, like Sindhu was like, you are strong, just be strong. Like, she was supporting me throughout the journey. She called, she was checking on me. There were so many people who were praying for our family. I'm grateful to face family that they stood beside me in the process. They told, no, you have to go. It's your dream. Mom was like, no, you have to go for me. For daddy, you go. I didn't know that I'll get a name. I didn't know that she'll win a medal. I didn't know. I didn't know anything. Like I just went because people were telling me you don't know what you're going into. It will be a history. I didn't know that it will be a history. I just went because it was Sindhu was like, she fought for me with people, I can't name them, but she spoke to ministers that I should step into the Olympic village because it was COVID time and only 33% of people were allowed from India to go into the main Olympic village. So I knew this was God, but I didn't know that God was giving me the opportunity. It was like Purim festival for me, like Esther in pain, Esther in, joy, where she's bringing two things together. I didn't know how to balance it. But God was teaching me that in that season to balance joy and, brokenness together. So it was like stepping into Olympic village is another different story to experience because nobody get that opportunity to stand there to see so many people, like not even athletes, they are like elite athletes from throughout the world, having different culture, different traditions. I i couldn't believe my eyes when I stepped into with flags, like all the country flags, and people like Djokovic, like they stand there, tennis players, and they're stars. Come on, they are sitting with you, they're eating with you, and I felt like God can honor you in any way if you trust Him. Like you don't have to doubt Him. You just have to go and be there. When He says be still, you just be still and He'll take care. That was the experience in Olympics because for me, staying in hostel was like, okay, you get some food, you adjust the food, eat with achar and set for the day. But when I went there, I was like, you have Asian food, you have Indonesian food, you have Italian. I'm like, oh my God, this is abundance. I'm like, I didn't experience this ever in my life. And so much happening, that village experience, people, like I see Mary Kom as a movie, and when she's standing in front of me, I'm like, I'm actually seeing Mary Kom, she's right in front of me. That experience of, okay, don't doubt, she's a human being. And I'm like, okay, opening ceremony, I'm like traveling with them. It brings a lot of joy. I'm really grateful to God that Sindhu is part of my life. Sometimes I feel that when God chose me for her, I think God has even chose her for me to trust me in that journey of hers. So that has been a amazing journey and God's faithfulness, because I remember my mom writing in a prayer list, like her list of prayer was for 2.5 years was, my daughter should go to Olympics, my daughter should go to Olympics. I'm like, maybe ma, I'll see, I don't know. My mom is like, you'll go. I'm like, maybe, I don't know, like Olympics is one of the biggest events in the world. So I'm like, I'm a small physiotherapist in Hyderabad, where will I go? Then yeah, when it happened, when I told my mom was in hospital. I didn't know what to do. She wanted to come to airport. Dad was not there, and so many things. Dad's lessons coming into picture. He imagining, because my dad is lot into news. Every father is like, every day they get up and they see news. So my dad was like, this politician is this politician is this. I'm like, okay. Now I don't know anybody. I don't even know who is the sports minister. I don't know anybody. So when I come back from Olympics and I go to sports minister, I go meet Modi, and I'm like thinking, I wish Dad was here to see this. I wish after Olympics, if something would have happened, I would have taken it. But last wish of my dad, that I could tell him that, Dad, I have made this. Then I was like, okay, I know like Jesus is the medium, and I know my dad is seeing it. But yeah, it's been painful, but it's been a joyful journey altogether, I can say.
So, you go with such a broken state to Olympics village. But you can't deny that you have to work every single day on TV. You can't compromise on that.
No.
So even through that, you kept it going, you kept working on it. Eva is one of the person that I can completely assure that whenever she puts in her heart or hand on something, she's excellent, she's on it. So I was not there to see it, but she won. So you have some credit over it. But coming to that part, Eva, that you went there, सब कुछ हो रहा है, practice हो रहा है सब, and then suddenly in front of your eyes, you saw it happening. History got created that PV Sindhu became one of the first female badminton to win a second Olympic medal. So how was that? How did like hit the whole country? But you being there, you being one of the reasons that happening, how did it felt?
So actually, for me, I got used to badminton because it's been being in sports. Every day you watch matches, but with Sindhu, it was like quite different because they are like athletes who work really hard. And when I actually, it was for her, it was painful because on the previous day, actually, she lost semifinals. So it was like for her, it was she lost gold for the country. And we have to prepare ourselves, get up in the morning and play bronze match. So we were like, we cried. Like literally, coach, me and Sindhu cried on the previous night, and we were like, medal is a medal for the country. And we got up early in the morning and we were like, no, we were all motivated and we just stepped in. I do a thing like whenever she goes into the arena, I just pray. I take her racket or I keep my hand on her. I keep anything like on her kit or something like that, and I pray. And she knows that I pray. So I just pray, God, if it's your will, we'll go from this place with honor. And if it's not your will, just do whatever you want to. But it's a privilege. We came to Olympics. So we just went there and I didn't know, like, she was all broken the previous night and she lost so much hope. She was like, everybody were voting her for gold and gold. Like, everybody, like, golden girl of India. Like, there was so much pressure on her. So she was like, whatever it is, I'll give my 100%. I'm not giving up. That kept us motivated when the player herself is telling that. So I like the confidence of Sindhu. I told in the previous, like in my Instagram live also, she had so much confidence that she bought the flag in her bag. And she was like, she knew that she'll win. I don't know, like there was so much confidence that she bought the flag with her that when she'll win, that she'll hold the flag with the medal.
Wow.
So when we stepped in with faith. And when she played that match, when history was created, it didn't hit me because I felt like, okay, this is a match because I didn't know there's so much media involved. India is crazy like that. Okay, I thought, okay, she won a medal. Like we used to go into the previous places also and she could win a medal. But Olympics is something different. Like Olympics will change you as a person. Olympics will bring a lot of honor, like so much competition because it's not only few countries, it's like the world which is competing. And so when history was created, she just came, hugged me and she said, thank you and love you. And she kissed me and we just cried. I didn't know till in the midnight 3 o'clock, we get calls from Indian media and she's giving interviews. It didn't hit me then. It hit me there when she was sitting in the dining hall and she was giving interviews like 3 o'clock midnight in Tokyo. Then I was like, God, this is crazy. She didn't sleep throughout the night. She was like, I won the medal. I won the medal. And I'm like, okay, come on. Next day we have a flight and we have to go. When we stepped into the Delhi airport, it was something else. Somebody is crushing my leg. Somebody is coming and calling my name. They're calling very differently. They're pronouncing my name differently. They're calling her. Like there were thousands of people. Like there was music. There was honor. They're shouting her name. People in the airport are like, I don't know, it went so crazy. There's Vande Mataram in the background and everybody is shouting her name. And I didn't know that it's so crazy when you step in. There is honor, like God can honor you. I can, like, if human being can be honored in such a way on earth, I was imagining God in with angels. I was like, if you go to heaven, then what will happen? Like, it's this human being on earth. There was, it was a journey. Like, when we came back to Hyderabad, it was something else. When we went to Delhi, it was something else. And she surprised us, like all the staff members, me, coach, and Sindhu, like all the management surprised us with, booking a room in Leela Palace. I'm like, okay, now this is, this is like from inside. I'm like, this is, I'm not worth it, Jesus. Inside, I'm thinking, I'm not worth it, Jesus. I'm not, like, Leela Palace is not even where I'll step in. Then when I step in, I have a separate room, and I know I can tell that you guys came. So it was like, Jesus, this is a huge room. I was seeing the washroom. I'm not even joking. It's not even my room size. It was bigger than that. So it was like, when God can honor people, it
Yeah, so
crazy.
that was one of the things that I was able to witness. I came and met you at
Yeah.
Leela, and I want to tell people the story. Okay, so I am in Delhi, and we got to know that Sindhu and Eva just landed in Delhi, and they are in staying in Leela. And it was me, my husband, and few of our friends from Delhi face to face. We call up and we say we want to come, and we all of us, like, it was like, I guess four of us, 4 or 5 of us. We went straight to Leela, and then we see this big massive gate, okay, and then there's a security guard. And he asked, "Hey, do you have a booking?" It's like, "No, we are PV Sindhu's physio friend." She has called us, please let us in. And then we go in the reception. We are sitting. The reception itself is bigger than my wedding place. And we sit in the reception, and we say that we want to meet Eva. She's PV Sindhu's physio. And then the guy comes very honorably. She said, "Ma'am, please have a seat," or "Sir, please have a seat, and we'll get back." And then they ask, you can go to her room, which usually don't happen, that
Yeah,
you
that's
can
true.
go meet the guest in their room if you're not a guest. And we all, so till then, till the lobby, we are all civil. The moment we enter her room, we all go crazy. There are sweets and cakes and desserts that has her pictures, that says "Congratulations India" and whatnot. And true, that bathroom was massive. The mirrors were so good. The hallway was crazy. It was an experience, and I thanks God that I got to at least see and feel Leela Palace because of you.
That's crazy. True.
Because of you. And she had, the bathroom was amazing. Let me come back from there. So
True.
and we couldn't meet PV because it was late, but then we saw everything, the amount of honor that came to you. And also I saw the shift, like how the verse says, the morning may and last for a night, but the joy comes in the morning. I saw that happening in your life, and within it was fraction of how much God can lift a person, how much God can lift a person. It's beyond our understanding, where you are honored by the ministers of the country, you're honored by the players. You go meet the minister, the prime minister, not just the minister, the prime minister of the country, and you get to have a meal or just chat around with them. Again, how was that experience?
Yeah. First thing, I was missing my dad because
I know.
I was like, okay, now I'm entering into the era where my dad likes. So I was sitting there. I just prayed because, again, we were in Delhi now, but different hotel. This is after Leela, we go back to Hyderabad, and we just went because they called us for Independence Day. So Independence Day, and I didn't have a clue that we are going to meet the president, sports minister, and Modi ji. So I'm like, okay, fine, we're going normally. Sindhu was like, okay, you'll get a kit there. And I was like, okay. Then we went there and we just step in, and my name is written on that Indian badminton physiotherapist and India blazer on it. And I sit there and like, God, this is crazy. I again cried and I'm like, I have to wear this blazer. I'm representing the country, going there, stepping into places. When people prophesy, we take things very lightly sometimes. I was like, in that season in 2017, I was thinking, मेरे life में पत्ता भी नहीं हिल रहा types, there's nothing which is happening. And when I look back, when people prophesy, actually, we have to take things seriously because they are being the mouthpiece of God. So when God says nations are your portion and you will represent where you are placed, then it hit me very hard, because the day I was wearing that blazer, I knew this, that God, I'm not worthy. You made me worthy to be here. And it took me time. And when we stepped into Lal Killa for Independence Day, like, nobody can step in with Modi ji. They're standing there and on Independence Day, and we are standing there and we have a privilege to step in and go in and experience that. It was altogether so beautiful that morning, and meeting the president for tea. And I was thinking the cutlery itself was silver. I'm sitting there, I'm thinking, what is happening in my life within a month? I'm sitting there, and president comes and we are honored by the president. He's talking to us and he's congratulating everybody who has won medals, and he took pictures, and it was quite an experience. People told me, hey, you are lucky, and people said, maybe your dreams are coming true. I said, it's only Jesus. I said, you don't know what happened in my life. It's not lucky. You just have to pray. God will fulfill your dreams. Just go with the flow. And now also people tell, what inspires you? I said only Jesus, because I am not that person who can inspire people. People take me and say, my juniors, when I went to college the other day, and they were like, ma'am, you are our inspiration. In my head, I'm thinking I didn't do anything. Like, I just worked hard, studied, and just placed my trust in God, and He opened up doors. And I just want to encourage people who are going through this. The process might take time, but you will be in a place what God has predestined for you. He is rewriting your story. Just trust Him. So when I went there, and when taking pictures with Prime Minister of our country, and I just prayed a prayer like, God, you change this place, you change this nation, that they'll believe in God. Whatever happens, whatever is happening in our country right now, I was just praying in that place, in His land, in His house. And I just prayed a prayer like, God, you do your work. I know you placed me here to come here. I'm not even, I'm just a physiotherapist of PV Sindhu. She is a player. She is the, honor of the country. She has bought a medal because she worked hard. I'm only a backup support staff for her. But I know you placed me here to come there and to stand in the places. I just prayed like intercession. When you learn from a place of submission, that would change everything. And that made me realize, when people say, I was like, not prophetic, not anything. I was like, people slowly put that seed in me, like, you pray really well, intercession is your calling. I was like, what is intercession now? I didn't know. Then when I stepped in Delhi, then I realized, just pray, Eva. You don't have to do anything. Just pray in that place. You can't change, but prayer will change everything. So I stepped in, I prayed, and I came out of it. I don't know what God will do, but I know we are in the safer hands. Our country is in the safer hands because God is being there. Yeah.
Wow, that's so well put. My next question to you would be, did people around you change after PV, or your life has changed after? Your life has for sure changed a lot, but how did the people around you change? Did they change? Did they remain the same? Or you suddenly highlighted, oh, can we get access to PV because of you?
Yeah, it happened, but people were very kind. Like, who knew me from before were very kind because they saw my journey. But few people changed, I can say, because I saw so much honor when they talk. But before that, I was like, hey, like, I don't like when people treat physiotherapists like messieurs. So you do massage really well, and in my head, I'm like, we don't do massage. So I was like, okay, fine. Like all the physiotherapists can agree on this, where people actually come and tell you, आप बहुत अच्छा मसाज करते हैं, आप कर सकते हैं क्या? And like, no, we study 7 years and that is not massage. And I'm like, okay, then that changed actually. That physiotherapy, that name has changed for me. Because now people don't tell, oh, आप massage करते क्या? They don't tell that. Now they know what comes with physiotherapy, what is the treatment we do, what we do as a sports physiotherapist. So that honor has come, and people has different thought process to it right now, who are like, I can see so many people who are my dad's friend now, they see, okay, physiotherapy mein life hai, so they actually tell, okay, children, that you can actually pursue physiotherapy. That has changed, especially in my hometown. So like, I didn't expect. I went because my mom wanted us to go for Christmas to our hometown, Kagasnagar. Because my dad is not there, it was really hard to go. This is the first Christmas we not having all the access and all that joy and love and fun and carols, because we didn't go. And when we stepped in, I saw a different. I don't know, like, people were very different this time, and God had made that possible. I wanted it to happen when dad was there, but I know God has placed it in a correct time. I am nobody to question it. But on Christmas day in my church, my pastor honored me that I went to Olympics, and we all cried because we knew it's God, and we wanted dad to be there. And everybody was like, I wish your dad was here. I wish you made us proud. School teachers were there, and you're like, you were a small kid in the school, and you made us proud. So it was a moment. Yes, few people asked me for access for Sindhu, but Sindhu herself were like, she has her own management, and she tells, I can't access through you. And I genuinely tell them that, hey, I can't do this, and she has people who manage her, so you can actually contact them. So yeah.
That's nice. Okay, coming to the last question would be something that I would want you to tell people who are at the edge of giving up on their life or their future, or if there is something for them. Could be because of family, because of losing somebody, could be because of depression, could be because of failures of everybody is having a job. Like again, people would now know you as PV Sindhu's physio, but they don't. Well, you know now, but they wouldn't know that there was a backstory where you didn't have jobs for so long, and God bring a miracle. So somebody who would be at the place of the past Eva, what would you tell them?
I would say first, trust God, because it's hard to tell. It's easy to trust God, but it's very hard to actually trust God, because you're in a phase where you're broken and you feel that nothing is happening in your life. But I'll tell, have a fellowship, have a family, go to places where people will actually understand you, who will not judge you, who will actually accept you where you are, how you are. They'll not see your position or your job, but they'll just see that you're created in God's image. When you are honored like that, and I had that family called Face to Face, so I could go and be vulnerable and be there. So I think Pastor Nixon has put that seed where to prune my character. He took really like inside of me, and he pruned me and put, like, don't look up to Nixon. I'm just a human being. Just look up to God. He made me realize that. And I think you need a fellowship. and you need a family who will pray for you. I think that is the key. Where you go, be vulnerable, tell your parents what you're going through. Don't be in one place of telling, I had a broken relationship. If you have suicidal thoughts, go tell it to your friend and just pray about it. Because I had it, I was in the edge of giving up. Then there were friends who were like praying for me not to give up, and they actually prayed for me. And there were phases where I used to be like, God, I'm not worth it. And when you sit with God, I think that is the best thing which you can do. Whatever people say, you have your alone time, secret place with God, and sit there, actually process your pain. Even though if you cry for days, it's fine. If you're not getting a job, it's fine. If it's taking 1 year, 2 years, it's fine. God is not done with you.
Yeah.
Like, really, God is not done with you. And I can tell that you just trust in the Lord. That is the only thing I have done. And I have seen miracles, wonders in my life. Where I am, it's only because of Jesus and only because of prayers. So I can say, if you have a degree, if you are, postgraduate, if you are a topper, that doesn't matter. If you have Jesus behind you, everything matters, and everything will fall in place at the end of the day. So that has been a journey. If you don't study, if you have like 50% also, God can take you to nations. God can take you to nations without money. That happened in my life, and it will happen in your life.
Man.
Yeah. So that is what I can give insight from my journey, that you do your part, God will do his part. So you be faithful from small things, where you do your work. When people are seeing you, not seeing you, if you're working for 500, it's okay. Because I started my journey like that, where I used to sit in LB Stadium for 12 hours only for 750 rupees. And God has been faithful to see that, where you just have to be faithful in smaller things, and God can do wonders with that. So if you give anything which is small in your hand, as small as seed, he can make it fruitful, and you will see the fruit at the end of the day for sure. So, yeah.
That was put so rightly.
Yeah.
That was so nice. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you for answering all the questions. It was so good. Everything that you shared was great. But now we are done with the serious questions. Now the fun part starts. We have some fun. You can sit back, relax, breathe. Okay, these are the fun questions.
Okay.
We'll start with rapid fire. If you don't know, rapid fire means you have to be really quick with your answers.
I'll try.
Okay, so the first question is, who is your inspiration and why?
Okay, my dad and my elder sister, because my dad, being a mechanic, is really hardworking. He was hardworking, and he didn't like. My dad was a specialist in bullets, so I know the hard work which he used to go. So he used to tell, work hard. That was the mantra. My sister used to push me, study well. Till date, she tells me that we are proud of you, and you made that out of your hard work. And that was the inspiration which I get from my family. So my mom, my dad, and my sister.
Okay. Okay, so if you have to pick one experience, which one would it be? The World Championship or the Olympics?
Oh my God, Olympics for sure.
Okay. Third question, what advice would you give to your younger self?
Not to be stubborn and listen to your parents.
Okay. Next question. If you could get anything right now in this moment, what would it be? Any material or anything? Like right now, if you ask it, you'll get it. What would it be?
Anything.
Yeah.
Maybe my dad for a moment.
We wish we could get it, but yes,
Yeah.
I believe that he's
Yeah.
enjoying and dancing,
Amen.
happy with Jesus. Okay, your first reaction when I asked you to do this episode with me, what was your first reaction?
I knew it's God, so I said yes to you. So yes.
Thank you for saying that. What makes you the happiest?
What makes my family happy?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, one thing nobody knows about you.
Nobody knows about me. Most of them know that I dance well.
Really? Okay, I didn't know about that. and I know her from like since 2018.
Yeah.
If not a physio, what would you have been?
Cardiac surgeon for sure. I would have worked hard for it.
Okay, so the second last question would be, tell me, there is a little movement for this. Tell me 3 worship postures that you do while you worship.
Maybe I'll use a banner.
Okay.
Okay, that is one thing. Maybe this is one of the postures. And I'll just kneel down or prostrate. That is fun. Yeah.
Okay, so we are on the last thing to do for our rapid fire. That is, you just mentioned that you have 2 sisters and 1 brother,
Yeah.
right? Because you have 3 options, you get the liberty of picking anyone. Call them, say I love you, and cut the call.
Okay, both. One is in the office, so I'll call my sister.
Yeah, that's why I said you have 3.
Oh shit, where is the number?
So it has to be on speaker.
Okay. My sister is like, what's wrong with you? I hope she picks up the call.
We'll wait.
Hello?
हाय वाह
कुछ नहीं क्या आई लव यू
क्या हुआ
कुछ नहीं हुआ मैं फिर से करती बाय
बाय
क्या हुआ? Nice. Okay, so the next segment is the blast from the past. So I'll show you. It's all nice and sweet. I couldn't
hope.
find. So tell me, you have to tell me what was the picture about, when is it from, and what was on your mind when that happened. For you guys, I'll put it down here somewhere so you can get it. Okay, so we'll move on to our first picture. Okay, let's move. Okay.
Oh, this is like last Christmas with dad, mom, and my niece. So this is my second sister's daughter.
That's not you.
No, but it's okay. Her name is Karuna Tion, and this is last Christmas with daddy. So yeah, that's a precious moment because we were really happy and fun. No, not last Christmas. Last Christmas. Yeah, this is 2019 Christmas with my
Okay.
mom, dad. Yeah,
Okay.
it's fun.
Okay, tell me about this one.
That was when I was really thin. I want to be. So this is in my hometown. There is a pahad. So we actually go every New Year's with my sisters just for fun. So we went there, and it was in my degree second year.
Okay. Let's go to the next one.
Oh my lord. This is Necklace Road in Hyderabad. We were having fun with my friends. This was Friendship's Day. And my bike was with my friend, her bike was with me. And they had an accident on my bike. That was the memory actually. So it was Necklace Road and Friendship's Day. And they took random picture.
So your bike broke.
Yeah. So it was like they both were I was alone. Both girls were sitting in the other bike. So yeah, it was Necklace Road and we had a fall and it was Friendship Day and we went to Necklace Road and had ice cream after that.
Wow. Okay, tell me about this one.
Okay, this is graduation and this is the first time I was wearing sari because I'm not a girl type. I'm very tomboyish. So this is graduation day and my degree, like graduation of physiotherapy and yes.
Wow.
So this is graduation where we are in the department in like OPD. There were patients but we were getting ready and all our friends. Somebody randomly took my picture. So yeah, one of my friends I
You
think.
look beautiful here.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on to the next one.
This was Easter. I think my mom took the picture. I was just sitting there in the church. So this was Easter Sunday. And yeah, in my hometown, in our church, there was service going on. And I was so sleepy. And my mom was like, you're looking pretty, I'll take a picture. So she took a picture.
So cute. Okay.
Oh Lord, this is crazy part. This is in post-graduation. I went out with my friends to Leonia Resort.
Okay.
So it was New Year's, something in Jan.
New Year's usually comes in Jan.
Yeah, so it was New Year's, and we went to Leonia. I was only girl, and they were all boys. So I just went. I was randomly sitting on that, and they took pictures. So
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Moving on to this one.
This is one of my favorite pictures from face to face. This was a phase where I didn't have job. I was just praying and I was like, God, are you really working? Like I was questioning that in my head, and Rohit took this picture. I'm grateful to that person. And so many people say it's so beautiful, the world map here and the Indian map
Yes.
here, and banner and my bag and Bible. So it was so beautiful that it was so prophetic now when I look back. God, like I representing India, going through nations.
Yeah.
So beautiful. Yeah.
Again, because you mentioned Rohit, I want to say Rohit is one of the photographers that I have seen in my life. What is prophetic photography? So if somebody needs to learn, they need to learn. Every photo that he takes, it can minister to somebody.
Yeah.
He's so mindful. Like one of the things, it's random, but I would want to put it out there. You can be showing Jesus through any medium of
Yeah.
creativity if you
True.
want to. Yeah, having said that, we love you, Rohit, if you watch this.
Yeah, I love you, Rohit.
Okay, moving on to this one.
This one was in Delhi. That was the blazer I was talking. But my mom scolds me for this picture because my shirt was really long. So she's like, "Can you fold the sleeve?" But it's okay. I was like, "This." I didn't know how to tie and all that. Actually, Sindhu was like, "We'll click a picture," and it is a memory in Delhi, Ashoka Hotel. Before we go meet the Prime Minister of our country and the President. So that was the picture. This was, I think, Prime Minister, yes, Modi ji.
Okay, talking about that last picture.
So yeah, it was like, Sindhu was like, "You want a picture?" I was like, "Yeah." Then she was like, "Come, we'll take a picture." And I was like, "Okay, fine." Then she took me. So she was like, "I'm her personal physiotherapist, but I'm more like a friend to her." I can have the liberty to say that because she treats me like that. Like she shares her heart to me. I share my personal things, my heart to her. And that actually clicks because I feel we have a same journey in life where there were ups and downs, and she is one person I can, gel with. And so that was a picture with her as a memory.
That
Yeah.
was beautiful. We loved going through that memory line with you. We hope you did too.
Yes,
Late.
I did.
Okay, we are at the end of our episode. We're almost done. You can breathe in another 2 seconds.
Fine.
Okay, so last part is the assumptions that people made about you. So you don't have to justify it. You don't have
Okay.
to say. You only get to say if it's true or false, yes or no. That's it. We'll leave it at that.
Okay.
First assumption about Eva is she and PV Sindhu are childhood friends.
No,
Okay. Wish.
it's very young.
Oh yeah, she's very young. Okay, second, which I want to be true. This assumption I want to be true. I know it's not true right now, but I want it to be true.
Okay.
Okay. Eva is a millionaire.
Amen for that. I want to.
Yeah, I also want her to be. Okay. So somebody have actually assumed this about you. If not a doctor or if not a physio, she would be a teacher.
Maybe. I love teaching. I used to teach in college, yes.
Okay. Okay, this is a little funny. Dr. Evangeline is an evangelist.
My name itself tell that, so I actually that is my calling. If yes, why not? I will be.
Next assumption about you is she's a Mallu.
No, I'm not. I have a lot of Malayali friends though.
Yes, sitting one here. Okay, next is she will soon be a physiotherapist for women's Indian cricket team.
Amen for that. I really want to. Really, that's one of my
Checklist?
Yes.
Oh wow.
If God intends to be, yes, I want to work with cricketing for sure.
Oh wow. That's great. Okay, next assumption about you is badminton is her favorite sport.
Not actually. I was a throwball player, but
Oh.
yeah, I used to play. Like my sister is a national throwball, my brother is a basketball player. So I tend to do few things nicely. So I used to play throwball, never into badminton, but I love the sport after seeing Sindhu. So
Sindhu.
yeah.
Okay, next assumption about you, which is the second last, is she's a worship leader.
No, that's okay. I don't know to justify it, but yeah.
Yeah. Have she sung? Yes.
Yes.
Okay, last assumption about you is you are a dog lover.
Yes, I am. I have a pet.
Oh, you
Yes.
do?
Yeah, I have a pet. Sadly, it is in the kennel right now, but yeah, after dad passing away, but we want him back. So I have a pet who is 10 years old and his name is Jack, and we really miss him.
Oh, wow. What a note to end. All the dog lovers. You can love her more now. That's about it. We are done with our interview. It was so much fun.
Thank you so
I
much.
take back so much from this interview and from your journey. Thank you for saying a yes and
Thank you.
sharing your journey with me and Tales to Test Me and with all those who are watching. I know for everybody who watched, this will be a source of blessing. Before we end, is there anything you want to say?
I really heartfully want to thank you and Addison and Pastor Amit Kamble. Thank you so much for being here, because it's one of my wish lists that I could talk with Pastor Amit Kamble. It's there from same ninth standard. It's been there with me. I'm telling it openly because he's here and I'm really grateful.
Yeah, so people who are wondering why she's saying it, Daddy is here helping me out with the shoot. So yeah, that's the context.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you so much for actually calling me, because for me, there was a fear of sharing my testimony, because when I shared my dad testimony, it was a fear in me. Like immediately after that, my dad passed away. So I was like self-doubting myself, should I share my testimony or not? But I know it will bring glory to God at the end of the day. So really thank you, Abdela and Tales to Testimony, for doing this and actually calling ordinary people where God has used our journey to be extraordinary for His glory. And I'm really thankful for you and for Addison. Thank you so much for doing it. Thank you for choosing me to be part of Tales to Testimony. And I feel blessed because there were so many worship leaders and pastors. And I told my mom, I'm really not worth it to be there. But I know it's only God. So I just came not prepared, nothing. I just prayed a prayer and I was like, I'm here. So yeah, thank you so much for doing this.
It was absolutely my pleasure and my honor. Thank you for saying your yes again. I'm glad you're not an ordinary. What God did in your life, the kind of life that you live, is commendable, and we are grateful for your life. And I am excited to see more things. Let it be Indian cricket team, women's cricket team, or men's cricket team, anything. We believe for greater things for you. Thank you, everybody, for taking your time and watching this episode. I know you're blessed by it. If you wish, you can put down in the comments, and I'll see you next time with another amazing human. This is Tales to Test Me, where we share real humans, real hearts, and real stories. God bless you. Bye.
Bye.